Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. For today's video, I have something very interesting planned. So I'm currently alone at home and I have literally nothing to do because, as you might know, I'm done with my final exams, and during this time where I wait for my results, I basically don't go to school and I have nothing to do. So I thought, what better way to spend my time than read all day long? So that is what we're going to do today. I'm going to attempt to read for 12 hours today. I hope that is realistic. I have no clue because I have never done a consecutive time of reading, especially that long. But I definitely want to try and read as much as possible today. And I will try and set a stopwatch on my phone to see how long I am reading for today. But first of all, we have to figure out what I'm going to read. So I have 3 books that are kind of piquing my interest. One of them is Wild Dog Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, and I don't really know what this is about. I think it's kind of mystery-esque on a remote island, and some strange things happen and something like that. I honestly haven't read the back. I usually try and go into books blind and just go off of recommendations because I feel like that's the best way to read a book if you don't have a clue what's going on. Then the second book I have is Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. I just know that this is a sapphic romance novel set in the 90s, and they face some complicated things because they're queer and it's the 90s. And I just think this is very summery vibey, and it seems like a fun book, and I would really like to read this at some point. And the last one is The Martian by Andy Weir, because I read Project Hail Mary at the beginning of this year and I absolutely loved that book so incredibly much. So I picked up this book because I also heard that this is supposed to be really great and the movie is also supposed to be great. So I want to see for myself if that is true. I actually have no idea how fast my reading speed is and stuff like that. But let's try and maybe start with Sunburn because it's the shortest, and I feel like I can definitely fly through this because the text is fairly big and it just seems kind of fun, and I'm really in the mood for a little romance with also some complicated stuff, and I don't know, I feel like this might be fun. And I also thought that maybe I could also audiobook throughout the day, because I have one book that I'm currently listening to, or I started listening to a couple of weeks ago, and I just haven't continued listening so far. So maybe I'll also do that, but we will see. Let's first start reading, and then let's see where the day takes us. Let's head into reading for a very long time. Now in my little reading chair, and I would say let's start the timer or the stopwatch to see how long I actually end up reading today. And let's start reading. Hello, it's time for a little update. I have been reading for 1 hour and 14 minutes now, and I'm currently on page 43, so I read a little bit. I did get distracted by my phone for a little bit, but not too long, only 5 minutes or so. But maybe I can tell you more about Sunburn. So this book follows Lucy, and she lives in a small Irish village. As I mentioned, it's set in the 90s, and she's 15 years old or something at this point. I'm, as I mentioned, not that far into the story, but she, it is very obvious to me as a reader that she doesn't like boys with a romantic interest, to be honest. She talks about her friends that are girls in such a different way than she talks about boys, and it is very obvious that she doesn't like boys in a romantic way but girls. but she doesn't realize it herself yet, and she has had some like thoughts in that direction, but she like shoves them down because it's the 90s. But so far, I'm really enjoying the story. I think that the writing is really great. I really enjoy that. I think it is very like metaphorical in a sense. Like there are a lot of metaphors used to describe certain things and like similes and stuff, and I really like that. I also like kind of their small town, and it's like very like traditional, and the mom stays at home and cares for the children, and the dad goes out to work and stuff like that. But it's kind of fun to read about it and to like see how different she is from the rest or something like that. I don't know, but I'm very intrigued to see where the story is going to go. She also has a like male friend that everybody thinks she will date at some point, but she doesn't have feelings for him. So it's a whole thing. I don't know. We will see. I definitely have an idea who the love interest will be or could be. Um, but we will see. I'm now on chapter 4, so the chapters are like fairly long, like 10 pages or so each, and I feel like that makes it very immersive. Like I am like in the story. I also didn't really have the urge to like pick up my phone or something that much, which is crazy. I usually like I don't even remember when the last time was that I read for an hour consecutively. So I'm very happy about that, and I will definitely continue now. We will see. Maybe in like an hour or so I will switch to my audiobook and like do something else, because just sitting in my chair for that long is also like a little bit tiring. Or not tiring, but like I don't know. I just have the urge to do something sometimes, so maybe we will do that while I listen to an audiobook, but we will see. That was my little update, and let's continue reading. Hello, it is now later. Wait, what is the timer saying? I actually have no idea. We are at almost 3.5 hours. I didn't spend all of that time reading, to be honest, but definitely most of it, like at least 3 hours. I am now a bit over 100 pages into Sunburn, and I'm still really enjoying it. I think the story is really great, and I love the like inner conflict of the main character and stuff like that. And I still have to mention I love this writing. I think the writing is really amazing for some reason. I don't know. I just really like her writing, and I like keep on underlining stuff, and it's just really fun. But yeah, it's also really a like coming of age story, and I feel like the romancy aspect of it isn't like that much in focus. I feel like it definitely also follows a lot of coming of age, fitting into society and stuff like that, which I also really enjoy. I think those are some fun themes. And I like this book so far. I'm intrigued to see where this is going. I definitely feel like I could finish this today. Like it is now 11:30, and I feel like I could finish this today. That would be so cool. I like rarely read like a book in one day. I don't know why, but I usually just don't have the time or the attention span to do that. But I feel like this is a good challenge to like do that. So I definitely want to finish this book today. I think that would be amazing. And maybe I could also finish that audiobook I mentioned. It's really random, but that is I think the fourth part of the Woodwalker series. That's like a German like middle grade type of vibe book series that's like I think pretty popular, but it's like more so aimed for like 13 years old or something and not for 18-year-olds. But I saw that you could like listen to them on audio in the app I use, and so I just decided to do that. And I think they're like fairly entertaining, and they're very short. They're like 2 hours because I don't know if this is like a common thing or if this is more so a German thing, but we have something called Hörspiele, which is like similar to an audiobook, but it is way shorter than a like usual audiobook because they like do a lot of sound and you can hear like the stuff that is basically happening, like the things that are usually described in books, they just like act out almost, and like every character has a different voice actor and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Like this experience of listening to that series has been really fun so far, and I do think it's quite fun because it's basically like a world where there are people who can transform into animals, and nobody knows that, like the normal people don't know that that exists, but they have like a little society built around it and stuff, and it's pretty fun. And I have like 1 hour left of that book, so I think maybe I could do some like crocheting or something, or take a little walk and just listen to that hour I have left today, so I could basically finish 2 books, which would be pretty amazing. But for now, I think I'm going to make a lunch because I am a little bit hungry, and then I probably won't read while I eat, if I'm being honest, because I just love watching YouTube while I eat. Sorry. But then afterwards, I will definitely head back into reading, and we will see where the day takes us. But yeah, that was my little update. It's like a bit over an hour later. My stopwatch now says 4.5 hours, so let's get back into reading and see how much more I can get done today. I am very intrigued to see. So yeah, let's do it. I very randomly have the urge to take a walk because I've been sitting in my room for the entire day so far, and so I think I'm going to grab my phone and my headphones and go for a little walk, listen to my audiobook, and yeah, that's kind of my plan. The weather is really nice. The sun came out. It was very cloudy this morning, but the sun came out and the birds are chirping, and it just seems very nice to go outside now. So that's what I'm going to do. Hello and welcome to my living room. I have decided to change my reading quarters for the moment because why not? Sitting in the same chair for the entire day is maybe a bit too boring, so we're going to switch it up a bit. So I just went on a little like 30-minute walk. I did like half of the time that I still had left. I might do the last like 35 minutes, I think it is, that I still have left later on and crochet for a little bit or something like that, because I love crocheting and listening to an audiobook. I just zone out and it's perfect. So I might do that later, but for now I am going to continue reading Sunburn. I am now on page 114, so let's head back into the story. I would love to get a good chunk in now, and yeah, that was my little update.
Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love, moving through me like a wildfire. Like a wildfire.
Hello, I think it's time for an update because I haven't like actually updated in a few hours, so let's do that. I am now 7 hours and 43 minutes into this reading, whatever, and I finished my audiobook. I walked outside, as I mentioned, and I did some crocheting, so then I managed to finish it, and it was pretty fun. Not too crazy because that series is not aimed for my age category, but it was still fun, and I think I will continue the series still, but not right now. But I also did continue reading Sunburn. I'm now on page 152, and I am still enjoying the story. I think the plot is thickening. The main conflicts are rising. And I'm going to continue reading. Let's see. And read. Hello, time for a little update. It's now 6:15 in the evening, and I just checked my phone. It's currently charging, but I'm now at a bit over 10 hours into this reading excursion, and I'm a bit over 200 pages into this. I do hope that I could finish it today. I'm not sure if that's realistic, but we will see. It might surpass the 12-hour thing I mentioned, but that's fine. So yeah, let's see how far along I will get in the near future or something. I don't know. But so far I'm still enjoying it. There's definitely a lot more conflict type of stuff going on at the moment. But let's see what these last 80 pages or so have in store for the story. And then I will give you an update when I'm done, I guess. I don't know. Maybe before that, if something is going extremely insane or something. I don't know. But let's see. We have almost reached the 12-hour mark, and I just wanted to give an update. So I am now on page 245, and I have about 40 pages left. I think I will finish them today, hopefully tonight. It is now a little past 8 in the evening, and I think I'm just going to get ready for bed and finish this book. I'm intrigued to see how the story will end, because there are a few different ways I could see the story ending. Hello, it is now 20 minutes past 9, and our timer has reached 13 hours and 60 minutes, and I have just finished reading Sunburn. I literally finished this 2 minutes ago, so I don't even know what my thoughts are right now, but just a quick just a short review, some thoughts I have on this book. So as I mentioned throughout this entire day, I really enjoyed the writing of this book, and I also enjoyed the story and the inner conflicts, especially that the main character had. I do feel like the ending was a bit frustrating in a sense, because it was kind of a cliffhanger and an open ending. You don't know how things will end up between these characters that were the main couple in the story. And I do feel like the main character had an incredible character development, the way that she acted at the very beginning of the book and the very end, and the way that she came to terms with herself was very beautiful. And I think it also showed that for some people it just takes years to come to terms with themselves. And I really like that this book depicted this, especially as it is set in the 90s, where it is even more, or where it was even more difficult to come out as it is today. And yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed the story. I'm not really 100% sure what my rating of it would be, but definitely something around a 4-star, maybe a bit higher, I don't know. But it was a very fun book, as not necessarily fun, because it does deal with a lot of heavier things, and also with family issues and stuff like that. But I just feel like it is a great book. It's great for the summertime, because a lot is summer, and the sun and stuff like that is a big theme in here. And yeah, I just enjoyed the book. I do have to say, the main character sometimes was a little bit frustrating, simply because she was so conflicted with herself that it made you angry at her, because she wasn't willing to sacrifice certain things in her life in order to be with the person she loved the most, and in order to be happy. And that was so frustrating to read, but I do feel like it was justified in a sense. But yeah, that's just a little side note. But all in all, it was a great book. And yeah, that was me basically binge reading an entire book in one day, and trying to read for the entire day, I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, I obviously didn't read for all of these 13 hours that I just mentioned. I did have to do some other things like eat and exist, and I also went on a walk with my mom earlier on and stuff like that, but I did spend like a lot of time reading. So I'm very happy that I managed to complete this challenge. I think that was a very fun thing to do. I would also love to do a like 24-hour reading challenge at some point. Maybe that will happen in the future. I don't know. I would love to. This is kind of, I think, a test run for that. And I did manage to go through this pretty well, I would say. So let's see if maybe there will be more of these reading challenges. Let me know if you enjoyed. That is going to be it for today's video. I really hope you liked it. If you did, maybe like, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!